Well, one thing I found odd is allegedly his cousin was there and he watched him around. Again, trying to help him.
Good evening, everybody. This is a Country Boy Conversation. We got a special guest tonight, Mr. William NIGHTHAWK. Hey, William.
How we
And,
doing, everybody? How we doing?
Probably about to get in some trouble, I figure.
Yeah. You like the title of the name there? Keep America Great Always movement.
That's exactly right. That's right.
And we have to. We have to, man. If you're a patriot, you have to. So
yeah, we got to quit messing around and letting them, run us into the ground.
Exactly.
This is not the same country I grew up in when I was young and a kid.
Nope.
It seems
the things that have changed in the last 2 years have been so coerced over the last 30 years of Democrats being in office too. We're going all the way back. We're going all the way back into the days of George Bush Sr. And Ronald Reagan, all the way back into the Kennedy era, basically.
Yeah.
They've been conspiring for the better part of 50 years to do what they're doing today to us in this country, which is destabilize the United States, make it a third world country, and basically make everybody poor,
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it's changed so much. Nothing's the same at all anymore.
Yep.
They run this country into the ground.
Yeah, they have. They truly have. And the sad part about it too is like I was explaining to you off air, you have a lot of innocent people being sucked up in the wake of destruction that's going on. I mean, you have the increased suicide rates of young people. You've got the massive people dying from having the sniffle shots, I mean, it's ridiculous, to try and control a populace through fear and intimidation tactics is ridiculous. You're only going to end up ticking the ants off in the anthill. And what's going to happen when the ants revolt?
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, right. All these charges against Trump right now. Do the liberals? Yeah. I mean, Joe Biden, he ain't got the brain for it. They got a think tank sitting there telling what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they realize that the people like Trump, it's just pissing them off? I mean, get down. I mean, it's making a.
Well,
it's hurting him more than it's hurting me.
Yeah, I don't think they, Chris, I really don't think they care, to tell you the truth, if it pisses us off or not. But right. One thing we'll state is, I may not agree with 100% of what Trump stands for, because, exactly. My Native American blood doesn't like the fact that there's an oil line going through our reservation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that,
right.
I mean, we have our non-agreement issues, but I will support President Trump before I support anyone on the Democratic side. And anyone else as far as a Republican, unless they have the same values as President Trump.
Exactly.
When we're paying $4 and plus a gallon for gas now that Sleepy Joe's in there, otherwise known as Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the
Bandit. Anyways, I love that picture. Anyways, and if anybody's wondering what picture I'm talking about, take a look at the picture I posted on the Facebook. And it's called Smokey and the Bandit. It's basically Joe and his son. But anyways, you can pay $4.20 a gallon of gas nowadays. But back when before Trump got the election stolen from him or cheated from him,
yeah.
I don't like to use the word stolen. They cheated, plain and simple.
Yeah.
They cheated.
Oh yeah.
So what they did was, they removed every policy right away that Trump had hand signed into law, okay, while he was president, okay, which was, I think it was altogether 48 signatures were required to wipe out the majority of President Trump's stuff that he did to enhance our country, okay, which meant $1.84 a gallon gasoline went bye-bye first thing. That was one of the first things. Obamacare came back, unfortunately. And then the whole stink of the BLM movement. When the BLM protesters were just basically antagonists for the liberal Democrat side, the real far left. I, for one, being Native American, not just one color, but every color, my brothers and sisters of every color, and in our medicine wheel, we have the red represented, which is the indigenous. We have the black represented. We have the white represented, and we have the yellow represented. Okay. As it should be equal across the board. No sense of everybody should just be colorblind. Okay. As far as I'm concerned. All right. Another thing that this country needs to stand by is and Juno's in the chat. Juno can tell everybody in the chat this too. When Native Americans hold ceremony or they hold council or they hold, anything, that the people gather around, we sit in a circle, and we sit in a circle because no one is greater or lesser than the other person next to them. Okay. It's a way of respect. It's a way that this country ought to be. Okay. And for them to do what they're doing to President Trump is completely wrong. Completely wrong. And indicting him for racketeering charges. First off, they're indicting the wrong person for racketeering charges, as far as I'm concerned. It should be President Biden and his administration, and President Biden's brother. Okay. So, that being said, that's just the way I feel, it's a mess. The whole country right now is a mess. Okay. There's people starving. There's senior citizens and disabled people like myself that can't even afford prescription medication to keep them alive.
Right. Right. You're 100% right.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're having to choose: do I get my medication or do I buy groceries? Do I put $10 worth of gas in the car to get to the store, or do I go without water, or milk or something? It's ridiculous. They're having to start to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
It's absurd. It's completely absurd.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Just look at the price of groceries. I mean, it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's only getting worse, and gas.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you see things like Canada right now, I saw a vlogger earlier today on YouTube, a good friend of mine and Tracy's that we watch and follow. He's a van lifer, he does the van life. And he pointed out in Canada that Canada is only $1.60 for a gallon or a liter of gasoline. You know, and that's a lot less than what we pay here. So it's basically like $2 a gallon in American money. So they're like 50% cheaper in gas, right? Right from the start. And yeah, they have inflation there in Canada too, and they're dealing with a lot with the wildfires. God bless them, for having to deal with that. And you know, but and we are too, you know, because the wildfires, they're coming our way. In fact, I know that there was some dear friends of ours um, that are part of our community on in social media on Facebook that had to evacuate from their homes in Idaho because
Oh
of
wow.
fires. Yeah, because of fires and stuff. So, you know, we have so much going on with our country right now with the wildfires, with the poor, with the homeless, with the starving, with the pedophilia, with
Oh
the missing and exploited people and children, you know, the you know, the border, you know, um, we have all these issues that need to be addressed here at home, but yet the only thing that our so-called president, whom I don't even consider our president, can do is send $84 billion to Ukraine.
yeah.
You know, I don't understand that. I can't grasp that logic. Okay. You need to
Yeah.
take care of your people first. When you take care of your people first, then you reach outside the country and say, okay, we're willing to help everybody else out. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. It's time we take care of this country and quit getting in the middle of stuff that we ain't got no business in. The ones
exactly.
that blow up Ukraine, that's his business. You know,
Yep.
I just don't get it. I mean, I hate to see any wars or anything, but the whole Middle East over there and Russia and them, let them do their own thing. We can't keep being the policeman of the world. You know, take
Yeah.
care of the United States. Quit worrying about everywhere else. Like you said, there's
Yeah.
people starving, there's people homeless. You know, $85 billion would have did for the economy if they put it into the citizens' hands.
How about
Because you
just
know,
turning the pipeline? How about just turning the pipelines back on and allowing
right?
allow the drilling permits and stuff, you know? How
Hmm.
about just doing that stuff simply, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
there was a guy.
he could do
There,
that.
there was a guy on there that was talking about the. Oh, I was watching on YouTube about the oil and how it's going, and the way he explained it, he said they're making so much money right now, so much money, like Exxon and Mobil and all them big companies. They're making a killing right now.
Hmm. Yep. And he's burning up our reserves too.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
reserves that we are supposed to have to be able to protect this country, you know, to use the reserves to keep fuel prices down during hardship times, you know, like today. But you don't burn through the entire reserves. You save a certain percentage of it for our military because our
Oh
military
yeah.
has to have those fuels to protect their country.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. All their
it's just
stuff probably runs on diesel, right? Because you was in the
yeah,
military. Well, everything's
yeah,
diesel, ain't it?
yeah. Nothing is except for nuclear carriers and submarines are the only things that, you know, you're not going to find a solar powered battleship. Okay, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? Shoot freaking daisies at the enemy? I mean, come on. I don't know.
Linda just said. Linda said she lives in oil country and diesel is the cheapest fuel to make. That's like the bottom of the barrel, ain't it? I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
and there
yeah.
and I feel sorry anybody has the diesel truck right now because woo wee, that's probably
Here's a
what
hint
hard.
for those people out there that have a diesel truck or a diesel car. Okay, here's a hint. Go get yourself all the old vegetable oil and peanut oil from all the fast food restaurants that they use, all the dirty oil, okay? You take it, you filter it through a rag, okay? You add a 16 ounces of ethanol to it, okay? You add lye to it, okay? You mix it together, you let it sit for a while, and you got yourself diesel. It's a biodiesel. It's made just like the corn biodiesel. You know, that's how they make it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, it's just basic survival stuff they teach us in the military. You know, on how to survive. You know, especially during urban combat and stuff when we're in an urban situation. and making diesel and fuels and stuff was just one way to help us survive. So it's that simple, you know, solution that people need to know. You know, but then again, why should Americans have to tolerate putting up with a president and an administration that doesn't care about them? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly they don't. Okay. They don't care. They have their own agenda, just like they had the agenda in Maui. You know, God bless all those innocent people
Oh,
that
I know.
lost their lives and lost their homes and lost their businesses in Maui. You know, my heart cries for them. You know, God bless them all. You know, they need us right now. Okay. Maui is an
Mm-hmm.
extension of us. Maui is our family, our Oyate, our nation. Okay. Just like everything else in this
Mm-hmm.
country. Okay. So just as much as, you know, people say, oh, we're just just like Canada, or we're part of Mexico and stuff. Yeah, technically we are family. You know, technically Canada and Mexico should be our best friends.
Yeah.
Okay. They
Yeah.
should be our best friends because all of our country's security depends on all three of us getting along.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the first thing that they need to do to mend that is to mend the border problem. Get the drugs coming in, all the illegal drugs coming in under control. You know, that's what they need to do. Stop the fentanyl from coming in. Stop, you know, stop the illegal child trafficking, you know, coming in and stuff. And you know, there's simple things to do. And as far as Trudeau goes in Canada, he's lost his mind too. The man
Oh
thinks
yeah.
he is. Yeah, I can clearly see the man thinks he is the Antichrist. I really see that.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you ever listened to Jordan Peterson on
mhm,
YouTube. Oh
yep,
yeah, him and yeah, he does not like Trudeau at all. He, you know, he's a Canadian. So
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
I got no respect for a spoiled rich guy that thinks just because mommy and daddy had lots and lots of money, you know, that he can run the world. You know,
right,
sorry, it ain't working for the UN. It ain't working for Carl Schwab, and it ain't working for Bill Gates. What the hell makes Trudeau think it's going to work for him? So
right. I mean, eventually they're going to get mad up there too. You know?
yeah, yeah, they
Uh,
are.
yeah, and the people live remote, you know, really remote up there in a lot of places. So
Yeah,
you know, but
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
getting ridiculous. I mean, the schools, it's just the liberals are trying to throw everything they can at us right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everything. Yeah, like Ozzy said here, Biden stopped the wall building and letting the traffickers get through and the illegal immigrant voters. Yeah, that's what he's going to use
Yeah.
them for, so they can vote
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
True.
I'm telling you right now, he's done lost. He's done lost the black vote. I mean,
Yeah.
I really think if you just listen and you know, uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
everybody's fed up.
Yeah. Believe it or not, too, he's probably lost. He's not only lost the black vote, but he's lost a good percentage of the Hispanic vote too, that are strict Catholic people. You know,
Oh yeah,
because the Hispanic people, they are ones to believe in their faith. You know, when you're raised up poor, and the only thing you got is the shirt on your back and your word and your faith. That's all you got, you know, and you have to stand by all three, you know.
right.
So I don't know. He's burning his own bridges, which is fine with me, but he's
Mm-hmm.
taking our country down too. And the more he's in control and in charge of this country, the worse this country gets. So I'm really praying that 2024 gets here as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I think they're just throwing, I think they're just throwing stuff and see if it sticks, honestly, because I don't think they have anything on it. They really don't. I mean, Tucker Carlson done broke the whole January 6th,
Mhm.
what they call riots, that you see
Yep.
cops walking people around in the building. I mean, he done broke that story, so.
Yeah, he went through. Tucker Carlson went through 106,000 hours of videotape to confirm what happened on January 6th. You know,
Yeah.
so the man, that's one thing you can say about Tucker Carlson. He may not be the best interviewer in the world, but he's pretty damn good at doing his job, and he does his job better than anybody I've seen out there. So
I've heard some talk just listening to him interview people and people that knows him, on YouTube and stuff, that he might actually run in 2028.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can
Because I
see
mean,
that.
he's been in politics for what, 30 years now.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he's been in Washington D.C. area, which is just a stone's throw from here. For the longest time. So yeah, I mean, he's got the connections, he's got the following, um, but he's going to need to build up his base a little bit more. He's going to need to build up his foundation that he's going to run on, and that's why I don't think he's wanting to jump in on anybody's bandwagon in this election so far.
right, right.
I know he has said that Trump, and Tucker Carlson agrees with me. Yeah, Trump may be loud. He may be obnoxious sometimes. He may like to tweet and talk smack on social media, but he's a damn good business as usual president.
Yeah.
The best we've ever had. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that I agree with Tucker Carlson 150%. So,
I just hope, if he gets in, I pray he gets in, that he's someone good that can take over. Once he only got the next 4 years, and then he's going to be
right.
done for. So hopefully he picks someone as vice president, that actually does something, unlike Mike Pence.
Yeah.
We see what kind of guy he is. He tuck tail and run.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
I don't know who he would pick right now. DeSantis, no, I don't like him. I don't care for him much. I just don't know who's out there. That,
Yeah.
that could run.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought them two was going to get along, but apparently not.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just, and I just can't believe the amount of, with the whole Georgia thing and the voting, election violations that they're trying to pull on racketeering charges on Trump down there. If anybody should be drawn and quartered down there, it should be the woman that was down there at the time setting up the whole to steal the vote in Georgia. So
Yeah.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
so unimportant to me. I can't even remember her name, but she's so unimportant to me. I don't even remember her name. But I don't think anybody should be held accountable except for the illegal president and vice president that is in office right now and their entire administration for
Right.
accepting their positions. Um, you know, because the whole administration is just a sham. It's just it's a complete waste of space.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I mean, you're dead right.
Yeah.
But
And as far as Pence goes, Pence had his chance to shine, and he let the
yep.
entire country down. He didn't just do it to hurt Trump. He did
Mhm.
it to basically hurt us all, and he did.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he could have stopped everything right then and there. I mean, Ted Cruz, bless him, he stood his grounds, but he can only do so much.
exactly.
A
Yep.
couple of guys. I mean, I hate to say it, but there are some old guys in there. They need to go in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell's the number one guy. I
Yeah.
think they ought to put a limit. Like, if you're over 65, you're done. You can't run no more.
Yeah.
We need some new term limits set. 2 years. That's all you get now. If you don't do nothing, you're done.
Here's one for you. I'll go one better than that. I think they should set a two-time term limit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they should be able to retire from Congress. I think they should be able to retire once they go back to their private industry jobs. Okay. I think
Mm-hmm.
that they should pay for Social Security just like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
And come 67 or whatever it is now, 69, I think it is now, then they can collect Social Security. I don't think they should have these big government pensions. I don't think they should have free medical care their entire lives. Why we, on the other hand, the slaves of this country, are slaving away, paying taxes on our income, paying taxes on our property that we own, which technically we don't own, the government owns,
Right.
paying taxes on everything that we buy, clothing, food, drinks, you name it, hotel rooms, we pay taxes on all of it. And then we lose 40% of it when we die. They take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're taxed to death, yet, and we've lost control of this country. It's about time we get this country back on track. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's a shame. I mean, the way things are going, I'm telling you, it's scary. It's a scary thought. I mean, it's a really scary thought.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's only going to get worse before it gets better. I mean, I didn't think 4 years with Trump back in the office, he can set us on a road to, getting better, but 4 years ain't enough for him to get what he needs to do done.
No, but if anybody could do it, he'd be able to.
Oh yeah, because he's so smart and business wise. The man's a genius when it comes to the business.
We just need to be able to back someone like that 100% again. We need to.
Yeah.
And if it comes down to it, and it takes us to protest in the streets about making this election fair, then let's make this protest in the streets. Let's bring, let's just not take this lying down, folks. Let's take this right to them and say, you know what? Here we are. We're backing our presidential candidate. So I just, I'm so afraid to see what this country is going to end up like if somebody that isn't in the mindset of making America great again, taking care of its homeless, taking care of its starving children, its elderly, that are trying to determine whether to buy food or medication. There's things that need to be done, and the person that becomes president this next time around has to have his heart and his mind in the right place. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think first and foremost, he should have faith in God.
Yeah.
He needs to have that ultimate faith. So,
I think if anybody can do it, it'll be Trump. I mean, he's the man to get the job done. If they just leave him alone and let him get things like, I was talking to some people. I'm like, when he gets in there, the first thing I do is fire everybody. I mean, everybody, to the janitor of the White House, everybody, the FBI, all them heads, CIA. I'd get rid of all of them, and I'd start all over again. And I would hire Trent Gowdy, would be my new prosecutor or attorney
Yeah.
general. Because if
Yeah.
anyone, Trent Gowdy is one not to take no shit. Now that's just all there is to it.
Yep. Yep.
If he would,
And
if he would come and do it.
you notice how the left is doing some infighting right now too, because you don't hear much out of AOC anymore, and when you do, it's usually something very, very minute, like she's battling with whatchamacallit, Elon Musk, over Twitter and all that rants and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculously absurd to think that somebody like that can get into Congress and try to set the bar so low that you can't play any type of a role that is suitable to make yourself a role model for the young people. Too
Oh
many
yeah,
people,
yeah.
too many people in Congress have the egos and just they do all this backstabbing and stuff, and political side talk out the side of their mouth, and broken promises and all that. What kind of an example is that setting for our young people, and for that
Yeah.
matter, what kind of an example are we setting for our young people when our schools are allowing drag queens to teach class, telling children that they can't use the pronouns of him or her, that it's got to be something that's not going to label you, something that you don't want to be, but you don't want to be a boy right now, okay, all right, maybe you want to be a girl. Who says that to a child? Who says that to a child?
Exactly.
Somebody's sick in the head, and we need to do a thorough house cleaning from local government on up to the federal government level.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was watching Jordan Peterson the other night, and he had this girl. When she was younger, she was she was a tomboy. So she got to that age where women start developing and stuff, and she decided she didn't want to be a girl no more. And then the only reason she thought this, her parents took her to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist said, "Oh yeah, you're a boy," you know. So she went and had the mastectomy done. I mean, I think that was it, and the hormone treatment. And she said, it just hit her one day. I don't want to do this no more. I'm a woman. I'm not a guy.
Right.
I felt so sorry for her because the psychiatrist and her mom, and them, let it happen anyway.
Yeah.
But, it's
God made everybody perfect. Okay.
mm-hmm.
God made everybody perfect. The image that they were supposed to be made in. Okay. And it's by the grace of God we are allowed to even be born.
Right.
So, when you are told in this world that you're something that you're not,
Mm-hmm.
and you're beaten to the point where you're submissive, and you go, okay, well, maybe I am what they say I am, and you go and you try to do the change, and you still don't feel right, you still don't feel that acceptance in your gut, you don't feel that unconditional love in your heart, that somebody labeled you something that you're not, and
Mm-hmm.
all these kids are resorting to suicide or drugs, wanting to do themselves in because of it. I mean, what is it going to take to make the adults wake up in this world and take care of the kids like kids need to be taken care of.
Right.
Let kids be kids. Let kids be kids. Let kids play in the dirt and skin their knee. Let kids fall off their bicycle, because I guarantee if that child gets back up on that bicycle, they're going to ride that bicycle till they can't ride no more. Let those kids build their determination, their grit, their self-worth. That's what needs to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. Linda said 99.7% of the greatest generation, World War II, is past.
Yeah.
Sad. They're probably turning in their graves, honest to God.
Yeah.
To know what this country has went through after what they went through for our freedom.
Yep.
It's sickening. I mean, it's really sickening that them guys went over and did everything they did to keep America, the whole world safe.
Yep.
And then to see if they could see what it now is, I probably baffles them.
The perfect scenario to our solution to the problem would be if Trump got in again as president in 2024, and he had the right running mate. And I honestly think that his running mate should either be the governor of South Dakota or should be the one that lost the election in Arizona, Nikki Haley.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, she would be a good vice president, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as running mates go, I think those would be the two top picks that they would need. Especially the governor of South Dakota. She is such a traditional patriot to this country. I mean, yeah, she has her differences of opinion, just like anybody on some issues, but one thing's for certain: the first and second amendments are going to be protected under both of them. So
yeah, no, they're trying like hell to get rid of them too. I mean,
yeah,
Elon Musk, I think if it wasn't for Elon Musk, I think it would be worse than it is today. After he took over Twitter, I think things would be a lot worse if he didn't take over Twitter.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I mean, we got people like him coming out and talking, and Tucker's on Twitter now,
Mm-hmm.
and all these people out there that that are coming forward, and speaking their mind. I mean, I think they almost got Joe Rogan talking about Trump now. I mean, he is talking about him. Stuff. It's been good lately. So,
well, honestly, I think Joe Rogan needs to come off of Apple podcasting and all that, and get into Twitter and stuff, because his people are going to follow him wherever he goes.
Yeah, he has a lot of followers.
Yeah. So Joe Rogan would do a lot better if he was able to speak up and speak more about what he feels is good and right and justice, as far as our world goes. And, people like that are the ones we need to speak up. We need the Joe Rogans of this world. We need the Lindas and the Ozzie Sues and the Junos of this world to speak up every chance they get. We do, and unfortunately we tend to hold a lot of these issues inside because we're already stressed out enough about the cost of things, about how we're going to live, how we're going to survive, who's going to drop the first nuclear bomb, I mean, who wants to worry? We don't want to worry about, the next president and all that and how our country is going to be 4 years from now. We shouldn't have to. It's our country. We shouldn't have to, It's our children's country. It's our grandkids' country, We should be making this country strong and stable for them,
Mhm.
and their futures and their
Yeah.
children's future. So,
Yeah, I mean, you look, Trump was in there for 4 years. He did things that no one else has ever did overseas. I mean, he went and visited North Korea.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
big thing right there. And he had
yeah,
everybody at peace. He had everybody. He talked,
yeah.
down. I mean, even Putin. I think Putin really. I don't think they're in coercion or anything, but I think he respects Trump a hell of a lot more than he does Biden. He has no respect
Oh
for
yeah.
Biden whatsoever.
Well, men of strength respect men of strength. Okay.
Right.
And it's not a narcissist way of thinking. It's a warrior way of thinking. Anybody that's ever read The Art of War, knows that is one of the mentalities that is that connects what we call a brotherhood of warriors. And warrior men can respect other warriors because that's exactly how they are. They're not fake and phony. They're who they are 24/7.
Right. Yeah.
I
You
think
can tell Trump's one of them guys. You can
yeah,
tell by the way he shakes people's hand. I mean, he grabs your hand, he pulls you into it. You know, where Biden, I don't know. He's something else. There's no way he's able to do anything. His brain is not there anymore.
yep, exactly,
I really
exactly.
never cared for him when he was younger. I mean, he's
Yeah,
always been just no one liked him.
yeah. Well, he was a congressman for 47 years, and the whole time in Congress, they labeled him as the dumbest congressman in Congress.
Hmm.
That in itself has got to say something. There was in the 1980s, there was a reporter that asked a bunch of congressmen who the less appropriate person to be a senator was, as far as intelligence goes, lack of intelligence. And everyone that they asked in Congress said it was Joe Biden. you know and that's ridiculous. You can't spend 47 years in Congress and not make a name for yourself. Okay, not do some good for your country. you know you he should have done something in those 47 years instead of riding the shirt tails of Obama.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I do believe Obama is the one pulling the puppet strings here too, by the way.
Yeah, Juno just said that too. Yeah, he's the shadow president.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
yeah,
too. I really believe. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think I'm 100% right. You're 100% right here. I think he is, still running things.
yeah. Obama's the puppet master. He is.
Right.
And
It's
I think that it's sad too, because we have an aged man in the White House that clearly suffers from dementia. Okay,
yeah.
he
Hmm.
should he should be seeking medical attention for his condition, not having to worry about a country. Okay, if he's even capable of worrying at all at this point in time in his mind. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, it's just terrible the way things are going. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're using him. You know what I mean? I mean, he's getting rich off of it, but they just used him, the Democratic Party, to get what they wanted. They
Yep.
cheated their way in there. I
Yep.
mean, they said that them voting machines are so easily hacked. You
Yeah.
can get right in there and do it.
Yep. Yep.
There, there
Exactly.
was there was a Senate hearing with a guy. They had a hacker on there, And he said he could shut down the whole system, the whole complete system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No problem
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. It probably wouldn't take much either. It probably really wouldn't. So.
Right.
But
I mean, it's
I just get so disheartened when I start thinking about the last several years that what we've gone through. It was going
yeah.
so good with President Trump. There are plenty of jobs. People were making money.
Uh-huh.
People were able to eat. People were able to afford their medications, and if they weren't, there was assistance for them. Now
We
there's
can thank
nothing.
Anthony Fauci for that one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
there more stuff's coming out. If you go listen to some things that Robert Kennedy Jr. talks about, it'll blow your mind. I mean, he's the only one really fighting him and
yeah,
Rand Paul, but two guys
yeah,
can't win a war.
yeah. Well, and I don't personally know Fauci, so I'm not going to speak about him, but I will
Mhm.
speak about what he did to this country. He
Oh yeah, that's
used he used fear. He used all the fear he could muster in the general public to promote his agenda. Okay, and while he was making diseases and stuff in labs in China, um, and covering it up and telling everybody they need to have this shot, for this, that, and the other thing, when they didn't need it at all.
Mhm.
I mean, take it from somebody like me, a two-time cancer survivor. I'm still battling right now. Okay, I've never had the COVID shot, not one.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm still here. Okay,
Yeah,
I was,
you got a bad immune system. I mean, that's
yeah,
cancer takes that
exactly.
away from you.
Exactly, and I'm still here, and I didn't get the shot.
Mhm.
If and you have young people that are dropping dead of heart attacks, healthy young athletes,
Yeah.
that are doing that, and God bless them. They did what they were told to do,
Mhm.
because obviously, American citizens aren't allowed to have their own freedom of thought anymore, or their own
Right.
opinion. We're not allowed to have our own opinion. So, but we need to start doing stuff. We need to start bringing this country back to where it is, and it should be in for the people. It's founded
Mhm.
for the people, by the people, for the people, and democracy's great, but democracy can be controlled by certain few of the elitist, and we found that out. Okay, and
Mhm.
that's why we're not a democracy. We are a republic. Okay,
Yeah.
and a republic for which we stand. You know.
Yeah. I don't even know if the kids. I don't know if they still do it or not. But I remember going to school. That's the first thing we did at school in the morning was go outside and pledge allegiance to the
Yep.
republic for which it stands. Everybody
Yep.
went outside and you gathered around the pole. And then they took prayer out of schools. They took that out of school.
Yeah.
They they dumbed down our kids is what they did. They don't teach. I asked she's going to be in sixth grade this year. I said, "Do you know who World War II, who we fought? No. You ever heard of
Hmm.
Hitler? No. I said, what are they teaching you guys in history class?
Yeah. They're
We don't.
teaching them.
We don't
They're teaching them they're teaching about the Black Lives Matter movement protest, and
right.
how glorious that the LGBTQ IT, whatever the heck it is anymore. I don't even
No,
know what
I know. I know.
how glorious and self dignified they are, and all that, and how righteous they are, and that's not true. I'm sorry, it's not true.
yeah.
You know? You
I
know,
mean,
I feel sorry for people that are so warped minded that they can't grasp what reality is around them in the world, you know.
mhm.
So if your world of reality is you as a guy putting on a dress every day and pretending to be a woman, then you're in the wrong world, bud. Hate to break it to
Yeah,
you. So
yeah, it's a shame. I mean,
yeah, that don't go
everybody
on many.
knows that everybody knows that a male is, physically stronger than a female. I mean, there's some strong women out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing bad about it, but and then they're trying to say, well, I'm transgender, so I want to play in that sport. Yeah. Well, at least, I mean, here in West Virginia, we put a stop to that. That don't happen here no more.
Yeah.
I know here in Morgantown, there was going to have a gay pride, LGBT, well, however you say it. You know what the cops did? We can't pay overtime, so there's no one there to help you out. they threw it away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a shame. And the schools up here also, they started that whole Pride Month. No, 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 they don't. They protect all the flags. You're not allowed to do that here. So I mean, there's still some good places left in America, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
For now, yeah, like Juno
Yeah.
said, they're teaching them how to be communists.
Yeah. They really are. And Juno knows as well as I do that being Native American, we should be able to have the freedom to go across borders and stuff just like anybody. Animals
Yeah.
can migrate without a passport, so we should be able to migrate without a passport too. But
Mm-hmm.
that still doesn't mean you should violate another country's rules and borders. You
Yeah.
should respect you should respect the countries that your country is adjacent to, and respect their borders. And until we get to that equal ground, that level playing field with these countries like Canada and Mexico, that are our next door neighbors, and even Russia, up in Alaska, there's part of Alaska where we're only 6 miles from Russia.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard about that. Yeah.
We're so close, yet we're so versely divided. These are countries that we should be getting along with. These are
Yeah.
countries that we should be, reaching out in a handshake and saying, you know what, as gentlemen and ladies, let's agree that when we disagree, we don't kill each other over
Right.
it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so
Well, Reagan tried his heart out. I mean, he did get somewhere with the Russians, but it's just there's a corrupt bunch here, that just won't let go of the past. They just won't let go of it.
yeah,
I mean,
but
Gorbachev, I think, was really headed, our way. He was there, but not all the way. Because,
right, yeah. I don't know, brother. I just think that the world can be a better place, if we have the right people in charge, the right people that we vote legally and fairly in charge. Um,
yeah,
these puppet governments that are popping up, like what the UN wants to do with all the land grabs and stuff,
hmm
to do their 15-minute cities and crap like that. It's just ridiculous. You know,
yeah.
we didn't have the UN for the longest time, and we sure as hell don't need them now.
No, we don't. We definitely
So
don't need them.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Right?
That's just
Yeah,
my theories. That's just my theories. That and $1.50 might get you a cup of coffee. So,
yeah.
but
Maybe. How much is coffee? I don't drink a lot of coffee. If you go to
uh,
McDonald's, how much is a coffee now?
you can get a senior cup of coffee for $1, I think.
I remember when I was a little kid, going with my grandma and my grandpa, eat out in the morning or something. It was like 25 cents or something,
Yeah, 25 cents for a bottomless cup of coffee. Yep. Yep.
And not no more.
No, no. Which is
Yeah.
funny too, because the only thing that's gone up is the basic necessities for making and producing the coffee. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't. The retail price of it shouldn't have gone up that much.
No.
Because a lot of the countries that are producing the coffees are third world countries that aren't making a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So who's making that money? It's the big 11 companies that rule the retail world entirely, you know.
Yeah.
And who's helping them out with all that money is BlackRock.
Oh,
So,
BlackRock. What is it? BlackRock, Vanguard, and there's
yep,
one other one. I can't remember the other one's name right off the bat.
Rothschild.
They're running this country. They
Yeah,
really are running the country. That's
yep,
who Joe Biden's working for. Them three companies. They own everything.
yep,
They want to turn this. They want to turn the whole world into a one currency.
yep,
You know, it's
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree with Linda. We need to pray for this country. We need to pray for its leaders. We need to pray for other countries too, as a matter of fact.
yeah,
I'm a firm believer in that. But you know what? First and foremost, as a military veteran, I am a patriot. Okay.
right.
I always will be a patriot. There may come a time when I don't have as much fight in this old dog, but you know what? This little old dog is still going to be a patriot. Okay.
Right,
I will still celebrate the 4th of July. I will still say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I will
right.
I will still say he and she. Okay. I will still say Christian and faith. Okay. I will still say that I follow Jesus Christ. Okay. There's, and I could go on and on and on and on. And I'm a firm believer in the Second and First Amendment. Okay.
hmm
And I will guard both of those with my life. So, you know, it is what it is, but we need to stand up. We
Yeah,
need to be accounted for. We need to step out in faith and fight those dark powers that are trying to control us. Okay. And that's exactly why America is going into the dark abyss right now. You know, we need to make America great again, okay, and keep it great.
right, right.
It's such a great country that you have other people from other countries that are just begging to get in.
hmm
What does that tell you? That tells you that we have the greatest country in the world.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
so
Yeah, we get people from all over wanting to come here. I mean, even people from other
yep,
countries, Ireland, Scotland. They want to come here.
yep, exactly. We have the greatest country in the world. So
Right.
and the greatest people in the world too. We have such a diverse populace right now of indigenous people, Europeans, South Americans, Middle Eastern. We have such a great diverse foundation for this country that makes us even stronger. Okay. So, and as long as we know that and we stick together, there's nothing that we can't do as a country. So,
Right. Let's see what Ozzy said. If America fails, we're all screwed, big time.
yeah, yeah. And that's what they want. They want America to fall, but you know what? There's a lot of us here that aren't going to let that happen.
Oh
Okay?
yeah, you're
So,
100% right there.
so
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, I know it's been a long day for you. You've had another show
yeah,
already this morning.
yeah.
You want to tell everybody where they can catch it? Well, everybody probably knows, but you want to
Well, I
just
mean, yeah,
recap real quick?
Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. I think that's all of them. Friday nights we have Into the Red Rabbit Hole, which is a conspiracy theory type of a podcast. It's myself and Carlito Castro. And then Friday or Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. we have myself and Dennis Carroll and Grandmaster G, Gerald.
Grandmaster G.
Yeah, Gerald. Yeah, good old Gerald. And we talk about everything paranormal, supernatural, everything from AI to demons to angels to cryptid creatures to UFOs, all that fun stuff, all the weird stuff, that people don't want to talk about. And then once a month, I do a new program called the High Strangeness Paranormal News Hour. And it's on Monday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern. And we basically go over all the stories from the previous month of all the paranormal and weird and high strangeness stuff that's going on. We covered the airplane incident with the woman in the airplane freaking out about saying that, MFR is not real, We cover the volcanoes that are erupting. We cover the earthquakes. We cover Yellowstone watch, the super volcano watch. We cover basically everything. Black Panther sightings, on the East Coast. You name it. Everything. Literally everything. And it's a pretty cool hour. It's just an hour program, but it's pretty cool. We talk a lot of stuff within that hour. So
yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, if people can help promote this and share this out and stuff, I would appreciate as many likes and shares and subscribe to your channel too as much as possible, because when you do that, you're doing that to help me out too. So that means a lot to me. So, and I know it means a lot to you too, Chris. So.
Oh yeah, it does. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, everybody, we'll say goodnight. I know William's getting tired, and I know I'm tired too.
Yeah, I got an early morning to get to, so
yeah,
I will say my goodbye. And everybody, love you all very much in the chat. Swing by the channel and check us out and hang out with us. Have some coffee tomorrow morning with us, and we'll just have a good time. All right.
Yeah,
brother Chris.
Right? 10 o'clock in the morning, right?
10 o'clock in the morning, brother Chris. And Chris, my brother, I love you to death. If you need anything, you let me know, okay?
Will do. Same here. If you need something, you just holler.
All right, brother. You take care.
You too. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Well, I don't know who I got coming on next. I've been kind of busy with other things right now, but we'll get something going here. You all have a good night, and just keep an eye on my Country Boy Conversation Facebook group page, and I'll let you know what's going on. So you all have a good night. Thanks for coming. God bless you.